My next guest, he's the captain of the 1980 gold medal team. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in Mike Eruzione. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Mike, I got to tell you, I was on Twitter, and I saw that it was the 43rd anniversary. I think we had you on 3 years ago when it was the 40th, but now it's the 43rd, and I think Jimmy Craig, your teammate, the goalie, posted something, and I literally I'm a substitute teacher at Audubon schools, and I was sitting at my desk, and I started getting emotional, and I looked at my phone because I knew I had your number. I said, "That's it, I'm calling Mike." Mike, it never gets old, and you now have a book out. You have a book out, the making of a miracle, and it certainly was, Mike. Every year at this time, your phone must be ringing off the hook.
It does, and it's a good reminder to me because I never know what day it is. So, it's funny. I talked to Al Michaels the other day. I call Al every once in a while. He calls himself the bat boy or the stooge of the '80 Olympic team. He's our mascot. We love Al. So I called Al and I said, Al, get ready. The phone's going to light up. And he said, yes, I've already done 2 interviews already. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Mike, I said to my co-host Brad. I said to my co-host Brad Quast. I said, the fans, like what you did for the country, you galvanized the whole. I mean, the country was going through malaise in the 70s, leading up to the 1980. You guys couldn't beat the Russians to save your lives. There was a lot of stuff going on, and it meant more. I think you said this before. It meant more to the fans. You guys were living it. You didn't realize how important it was and what you did during the time.
Even 43 years later, we kind of try to grasp what it meant to a nation. I told someone the other day we could use a 1980 right now.
Yeah, you're sure right.
We could use one of those moments to bring people together and make us realize what a great country is that we live in. And
amen, brother.
I think in 1980, everybody, we weren't, and we found out this all after. To us, it was a hockey game. First of all, I've said this, and I'll say it till the day I die. Other than serving in your military, the greatest honor you can have as an athlete is representing your country.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's Super Bowls, there's World Stanley Cups, and there's World Series games, but the Olympics is special. And, we represent our country. And to do something like that and to realize what the moment meant, I think it brings greater pride and joy to my teammates than it does than just winning the gold medal, because we've seen what it was about. I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and they'll say exactly this. I remember where I was when we won, and I'll go, I didn't know you were on the team.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And now, when the movie Miracle came out, if you, I've got grandkids that play hockey now, and I go to my grandkids' games, and all these little kids come up to me and they want to take a picture because they've seen the movie.
That's special. Yep.
It's over. It's ended. I realize it. Life goes on, and we've all moved on, and that's part of the reason I wrote my book is I want my grandkids to know that Papa's life wasn't one day or one game or one goal.
Right.
I want them to know about their great-grandmother and great-grandfather and the family that we have and how close our family is. Values that are so important that my dad taught me. I wanted my grandkids to understand those things. And I think in 80, that's what we did. We kind of showed, again, what makes this country so great is the hard work and determination that we all have. And Herb used to call us a lunch pail, hard hat group of guys, and that's what we were. Many of us came from working class families and understood and realized the values that were taught us, and it showed in our victory.
I'll tell you, the euphoria that we felt as a country, I don't think will ever be duplicated. Yeah, the Eagles were into the Super Bowl. The Phillies had a great run, and the Citizens Bank Park was nuts. It was electric. But there is nothing that'll ever surpass that achievement to me.
Yeah, the whole country's behind you.
The whole country. And, I mean, you guys at the time didn't feel that weight. But I think it culminated in what you guys were all about at the medal ceremony when, Mike, you waved everybody up onto this podium. And that just melted me, man.
That was unbelievable. Mike, Brad Quast here. I really
I don't know if it would all fit now, but
yeah, it was such a great do you believe in miracles? And then when you did that and brought the whole team, truly you guys were a team on the podium.
Yeah, you were all together,
and it was such great to see, and the teamwork, and the whole country was just absolutely
mesmerized.
It was crazy. Hey, I got a quick question on the movie Miracle on Ice. I mean, what was Coach Herb like? Herb Brooks, did they portray him
accurately?
Was it accurately? Was he really like that? And
Well, first of all, Kurt Russell was absolutely amazing, brilliant as Herb Brooks. It was eerie watching him, but he was a lot friendlier in the movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the movie, he smiled. There was a scene in the movie where somebody skated up to Herb. We were doing a skating drill and stopped and kind of sprayed him. And the camera pans up and you see Kurt smiling. Trust me, you would never have sprayed Herb Brooks.
Never. That's okay. Really?
If you did, he wasn't going to be smiling.
Wow.
So we thought, and the movie was great. A little Hollywood here and there, which you expect, but it's really the Herb Brooks story, and we were part of it. I mean, we didn't know what was being written or said. None of us were interviewed or talked to. So basically, it's Herb's kind of story of what happened and what took place. And I thought it was done very well. I think the HBO documentary might have been a little better than the movie.
Okay.
So it did capture, what the movie did? It captured the feeling, the closeness of our team. It captured what the moment meant. It captured what it meant to a country. And that's a good thing. We like I said, we need feel-good movies more than we need the other crazy stuff that's out there.
Absolutely.
We're talking with Mike Eruzione, the captain of the 1980 gold medal team. 43 years ago, the other day marked the 43th anniversary of the great win. I know that there was one scene in the movie, Mike, where Herb Brooks comes walking in to the locker room. I forget what player it was, and he was hurt. He wasn't going to go out. He kind of challenged them on it, and he wanted to get up and fight him. Was that accurate?
Oh, absolutely. It was the first period of the Sweden game, and Robbie McClanahan had like kind of a thigh bruise. He got kind of kneed in the thigh and didn't know if he could go out and play. And then Herb went and, you got to remember also, Herb coached Robbie for 4 years at the University of Minnesota, so Herb knew what buttons to push in Robbie. Yeah. And I'm sitting there next to Mark Johnson, and I'm going, shit, the first period just ended, and already we got the coach and one of our best players fighting. I said, this is crazy.
I mean, he was like, when he walked away, Mike, when he walked away, he said, whoever he said it to, I guess the assistant coach, he goes, that should push their buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Robbie had a great Olympics for us. He was a big part of our success. So, one thing about Herbie, he was a great motivator. He knew, who to motivate and how to motivate. Like someone like me, you yell at me, I'll get mad and I'll work harder. Kenny Morrow's a quiet kid. You didn't have to say anything to Kenny. Mark Johnson's the same way. But a guy like Robbie, Herb challenged him, and Robbie reacted, and like I said, had a great Olympics for us.
So, Mike, you were the leader of that team. You're the captain. And we were talking about this earlier with our 76ers and Joel Embiid. Of course, you live up in the Boston area, so you're a Celtics guy, I guess. But the Sixers can't get over the hump. It seems like they had a lack of leadership. How important is, like, we were talking about a vocal leader as opposed to like a leading by example type of leader. What type of leader were you?
Well, I'm Italian, so you can tell and imagine I'm a little vocal.
Yeah.
But I've always said in that team, you got to remember this team I played on. I've said it from day one. I was a captain amongst captains. 20 of my teammates, 17 were captains, either their high school team or their college team.
Wow.
So that you're in a team of leaders. So for me to be the captain, one, was a great honor, but the important thing was for me to be myself and not try to be different. Sometimes people climb the ladder and they all of a sudden they're head of a company and they become a different person.
Yeah,
like, whatever happened to Bill? He was a great guy. And I think when you're a captain of a team, you can't change and all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm the captain. I got to do things differently. The important thing for me was that my teammates respected me on the ice and off the ice, and that I respected them as well. And I think when you have leaders in the room like we had, don't try to separate yourself. Don't make yourself any better or any different. Be a teammate. Be a good teammate. Be a good person. Those are qualities that I think a great leader has. And the important thing is the players respect who you are and how hard you work. But when you have so many leaders in the room, so many captains in the room who understand and understood what it's like to be a captain, it's pretty easy in that locker room.
I want to get your thoughts on this angle, on this aspect. We're also talking about the Sixers haven't been able to beat the Boston Celtics. It's like you guys couldn't beat the Russians. You played them all year leading up to in games around the country. They not only beat you, they waxed you. So going in, when Herb Brooks said you need one game, give me one game. Did that play into your guys' mental aspect of it? Did that wear on you guys?
We never talked about the Soviets once during the Olympics until the day before we were playing them. It was never discussed. The game that we lost 10-3 in Madison Square Garden was never talked about. All Herb kept telling us was, I hate to be Bill Belichick on you here, but it was one game at a time. It was, okay, we got Sweden, then we're on to Czechoslovakia, then we're on and we're on. And next game was the Soviets. So let's prepare for the Soviets like we prepared for everybody else. And the big thing about Herb is, and this is why he was a great coach, we were never worried about what other teams were doing. You know, we couldn't worry about what the Soviets were doing or the Finns were doing. We had to worry about our game. So many times, and you saw it in the movie, play your game, play your game. So I think that was a big part of our success. Was we never cared or discussed the other teams. We needed to do what we needed to do in order to win, play our game. And we were able to do that throughout the Olympic Games. And our game was pretty good. And, you know, I'll give you a statistic, and I didn't know this until about 2 years ago. In the third period of the Olympic Games, we outscored our opponent 17-3.
Wow.
I mean, that's an incredible number. And that shows the conditioning. And
Conditioning,
the speed and the character we had in the room. You know, I've always said a true character, you know, a true test of a team is how they respond when their backs are to the wall. And we were losing every game other than Romania. We were behind West Germany by 2 goals.
Yeah.
So, again, a true test of your character is how you respond when you're behind the 8 ball. And we responded tremendously, which, again, speaks volumes for the leadership on the team and the type of players that we had.
Yeah. So, Mike, so you remember what was your pregame speech before that game? Do you remember? Or
I didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything.
You didn't have to. You didn't. When we went in the locker room before games, guys were laughing and joking, and you know we had 2 guys that were 19, 18 years old. They were eating pizza and hot dog before the game. And the Soviet game was deadly quiet. Nobody said a word. And then Herb came in and gave the speech, although in the movie it was a lot longer. I remember Herb's speech being, "You were born to be a player. You were meant to be here. This moment is yours."
Wow.
And out we went. And, you know, and the funny thing is, and you guys are in sports, after we beat the Soviets, Herb never said, "Good game, congratulations." And after we beat Finland to win the gold medal, he never said, "Congratulations, great game."
Wow.
He let us enjoy the moment.
Okay.
It was always about us and not him. And, you know, that's why he never came on the ice after we won. He went right to the locker room.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah,
yeah.
he did dart off.
Yeah.
And you know, also, too, Josh, my producer, said this earlier before we had you on, that Al Michaels, that call, he said, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. And then he let the crowd noise just permeate like everything, and people just like, he didn't say a word. He didn't have to.
Just watch.
Right.
Just watch. Yeah.
Right. And then we beat Finland. His remarks were, "This impossible dream comes true." And he never said another word.
And he
after
never
that
said
as
another
well.
word. Yeah. Hey, we're talking with Mike Eruzione, 1980 U.S. gold medal winning hockey team captain. Mike, I don't want to be like bumming out a little bit, but we are getting older, and I know you guys lost a couple. You lost one or 2 players passed away. That makes it even more special that, you know, the achievement that you guys had. It's, you know, something you got to hold on for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we cherish. You know, when we get together, and we get together every once in a while, not as often as we'd like, you know, guys that are all across the country and get different things happening in their life. But when we get together, we could be the most immature 60-something-year-old.
Yes. Yes.
If you saw the emails that we send back and forth, my wife thinks we're 12 years old.
Which is a great thing.
Well, I had an honor. I played hockey for U.S. Airways, and we used to have a interline league where we played all the U.S. Air cities, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Boston, Philadelphia, and I'll never forget playing at the Mike Eruzione rink in Winthrop.
Oh, yeah.
In Winthrop. I played there, and Mike, I got to be honest, it's an old, cold rink and, you know, a throwback rink. And I walked in there, and that in and of itself uplifted me. I'll never forget. I played at the Mike Eruzione rink, man. That was awesome.
It's funny. It's been renovated, but I always tell a funny story. I have 6 grandkids, and 3 of them live literally down the street. And when they were 5, 6, and 7 years old, they skated at the Mike Eruzione Center.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they don't know who Mike Eruzione is. I'm Papa. And now that they're 10, 9, and 8, they kind of get it. They know Papa's got a golden medal, and he was in the Olympics, and it was a big deal. So they haven't seen the movie Miracle yet, so I'm dreading it because I'm going to have to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
So
Mike, you've never seen it? You watched it, haven't you?
Oh no, I've seen it, but I don't want to sit there every day and watch it.
Watch
like
it,
you.
right.
I was watching like the Disney Channel. It was awesome. Now they're going to want to watch Miracle.
Well, I don't want to make you feel any older than we already are, but we have 2 guys in the studio, an intern and a new producer that's being trained here. They weren't even alive when isn't that something? I mean, like I was a senior in high school, Mike, and I'll never forget it, man. I know exactly where I was. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's funny. The generations are very different,
Yeah.
and someone said to me, "How would today's Olympic team do against you guys?" I said, "They'd beat us like 20-0."
Yeah.
He goes, 20-0. I said, "I'm 68 years old." I said, "I can't play against those kids."
Hey, Mike, listen, I really appreciate it. I'm so thankful, and I'm honored to want to have you on the show. I appreciate you, answering your phone and returning me. I reached out to you, and you got back to me, and I can't tell you how happy I am. And I just want to thank you so much, and thank you for the memory that you've created.
Yeah, thank you.
For not me, but for everybody.
Yeah, the whole country.
Well, thank you. Just so you know, I had Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. So
All right.
All right, Mike. Thank you so
Bye,
much,
guys.
and we'll do it
All right.
again.
You got to take care.
There he is, Mike Eruzione, the 1980 gold medal captain of the USA hockey team on the Maserati of the Main Line Sports Hotline.